You Can't Make This Shit Up, Episode 15, with Paul Elam and Tom Golden.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this ball that's hurtling through space at an unbelievable pace. I'm Paul Elam with a voice for men.com and an ear for men.com. I am with, as always, Tom Golden of menaregood.com, and men are good.
Men are good.
And not only are they good, they're so good they can hardly believe some of the things we're going to talk about today because you can't make this shit up.
You really can't, Paul. The ones today, you cannot make it up. Unbelievable.
And, we say this every time we do.
I know, it's true.
Just when I thought we ran out of shit you can't make up, the world floods us with more. It's like trying to leave the mob. They just keep sucking you back in. We're going to start that reality today with a story out of Florida about a daycare worker who had, of course, a bunch of children, toddlers, in her care. And during the course of one day, at some point, a little boy got his leg broken. Oh, wait. No, that was two little boys. Yes, two little boys in the same day got their legs broken with this same woman. Wait. It was three. There were three little boys in the same day with the same daycare worker, all had broken legs, all toddlers.
Ooh, geez.
All three of them. No, wait a minute. No, damn it. It was four. There were four boys in one day who got broken legs in the care of one daycare worker. Now you're thinking, how the fuck could that happen? And I'm still thinking, how the fuck could that happen? I have no idea. I try to play out these scenarios other than her intentionally breaking their legs. I try to imagine the scenario whereas four boys, four toddlers could break their legs in the same day. Now, obviously, and I shouldn't say obviously, fortunately in this case, the daycare worker was arrested. And she was set loose on $4,000 bail. That's $1,000 a leg, which I don't know. I'm thinking if they were girls, it would have been $4 million bail, $1 million a leg for sure.
Yeah.
We all know the relative worth of girls and boys would not allow $4,000 in bail. Tom, that's my point about this, though, is that I get it. You know, the bail's ridiculous. She's being treated already like a slap on the wrist when you have four children with broken legs. I mean, this is, but what I can't wrap my head around is how that happens other than intentionally. What sort of odds? I mean, if she's beating odds like that, she should be buying lottery tickets every day and heading for the casino or something, because this just seems impossible. And I'm wondering, can you come up with any scenario in which this could happen that was not intentional?
No. Can't come up with it, man. I mean, the probability of four little boys breaking a leg in one day is like, no. I mean, the probability of one breaking their leg is small. Two is infinitesimal, but four is like, that's crazy.
Four means to me, it has to be she did it on purpose.
She did something on purpose. They have video of her dropping one of the kids into a wagon, I think.
Dropping him?
Yeah. She apparently yanked him up by his hands and dropped him into a wagon of some sort.
Gee, I wonder how he could have hurt his leg.
Yeah, really. My guess, Paul, is that she didn't want to chase these little boys around. Little boys, when these were like 1 to 2 year olds, they've just learned how to walk, and man, they go, whoo, and whoo. And by breaking their legs, they weren't going anyplace. They couldn't stand up.
And she didn't have a bottle of Ritalin handy.
No, oh God, I bet she did.
She had to break their legs.
Yeah, of course. Still her only way to maintain her sanity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't expect her to be chasing after children at a daycare center where she's
of course not.
Work.
That'd be ridiculous. She needs to sit.
Yeah, I mean, this again, I don't even know how much we can talk about this story, Tom. I think it sort of says it all when you say that 4 boys ended up with broken legs
Yeah.
in a daycare center under the same person's care in the same day.
Yes.
There's bullshit behind that. This bail is bullshit. She should have been put in jail without bail until they ascertain what happened.
Yes.
Now, they have stipulated that she's not to be around children. She can't work in daycare. Duh. I mean, it's, yeah, all the basic brain dead stuff has been taken care of in that regard. But we're obviously dealing with somebody who's got some serious issues and who is a serious danger.
Yes.
That kind of behavior is bizarre.
Well, just imagine that it was a man who had broken 4 little girls' legs.
He wouldn't have survived the beating on the way to the jail.
That's about right.
There was an old saying the Houston Police Department had: you can beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride.
They really said that.
If a guy broke 4 female toddlers' legs, he would have been under the jail with a lot of bruises on him. He fell, sorry. That would have definitely happened.
Yes.
Get this. I don't get why this woman is walking around free.
I agree.
I can't imagine how the parents feel.
Man, if it had been my kid, ooh.
Yeah, how would you feel as a parent if they told you your child was one of 4 who got broken legs with this same teacher? Oh, by the way, yeah, we fired her, but she's living down the street.
Yeah, I think it'd be class action suit time.
Yeah,
You know?
something is just totally bizarre with this. Anyway, what can I say? This is, you can't make this shit up.
It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. But again, what it does is it just exposes gynocentrism. You know, women are treated very differently than men are treated. And this story just shows that in spades. It's crazy.
Speaking of gynocentrism, and linked below, Lloyds Bank of the UK. Oh my God, this is one you just can't wrap your head around. They also they are the UK's greatest mortgage lender, biggest mortgage lender in the United Kingdom. They are also a big, super big banking outfit in the land down under in Australia, and they have adopted a policy. This is not a law, mind you. This is a policy that the bank has adopted that if you're on a joint account in a marriage, and they're very slick about trying to make this non-gendered language, saying, and one of the people is a victim of financial abuse, then they're going to remove the abuser from the bank account, the person who put the money in the account. They're going to take them off of the account on the accusation, not on proof, not on anything. If you can get a TRO, a temporary restraining order, or what's also known as an ex parte restraining order, if you can get that done, which we all know in courts can be done, or just like that. They don't ask for proof or anything. You think you might be scared one of these days that he's going to do something bad? Boom, they issue the order and remove him from the house. And Tom and I both deal with men who have this happen to them all the time.
Yes.
And so what Lloyds has decided to do is to say, oh, and let's be honest, we're not talking about male victims here. We're talking about female victims. And what the deal is that when the woman says, he's cut me off financially, let's say the woman is like spending the fuck out of all this guy's money in the mall, and he says, enough of this, and he cuts her credit cards up. He says, I can't afford this. You're spending more than I make. You're going to break us. We're going to lose our home. We're going to not be able to take care of our children because of your spending. So he cuts the cards up. Well, the bank says, oh, no, we can't have that. She's a victim. So we remove him from the bank account. After he's the guy that's given them the money. This doesn't even seem like it could be legal to me. How can a bank remove you from an open account that you started? How does that even happen? But in the name of gynocentrism.
Yep.
Yeah, we're talking about the pussy wagon here, guys,
I'm telling
and
you.
that can make anything happen. Um,
I mean, try and get someone's name off of an account, period. I mean, with their permission even, it's a long struggle, you know? But to pull it off without their permission, it's like, oh.
and I guarantee you, all the red tape that makes it like if I wanted to remove my name from a joint account because I didn't want to be responsible for the spending going on in it, I could get it done, like hire a lawyer, go through a bunch of garbage,
Yes.
wait. Meanwhile, bills are racking up and everything, but eventually I could get myself off of it. I guarantee you, when that restraining order is issued, they'll get your ass off that account overnight. You will no longer have access to your money, which makes me think, Tom, one of the things that true financial abusers might want to do, and I'm recommending this. So this is one of the few times I'm going to recommend anything to benefit abusers. If you're a financial abuser in your relationship and you bank with Lloyds in the UK or Australia, then what you need to do is make sure you report yourself. So they take you off the account, then you're no longer responsible for anything that happens. Then cut her off money the other way. Make sure that nothing goes into that account and she can't access any money. Then Lloyd's will end up in the hole. And you'll be saying, hey, don't look at me. I'm not on that account.
They took me off.
No, it's not my account. But this is one of the most Orwellian things.
Yeah, that's dangerous, man.
Tom. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
So now, guys, if you bank with Lloyd's, you can't trust them to even leave you on the account. If she gets mad, she can have you removed, and they'll do it. They'll be happy to do it because this is nothing but a big fucking PR stunt for Lloyd's.
Yep. Bank with us. We'll drop your husband in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. And to all the emerging number of single female professionals out there who are making all the money these days, oh, a bank that hates men as much as I do. I'll bank with them. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, you think?
That's exactly what they're counting on. And once again, you can't make this shit up.
You really can't, Paul. It's crazy.
Oh, man, I guarantee you, if I heard that my bank was doing that, I would terminate my business so quickly. And not out of protection. I don't have joint accounts. I won't keep them for other legal reasons. But I would still quit. And of course, most men, I guarantee you, there's probably a few million male customers of Lloyd's, won't be a fraction of them drop their accounts. Oh, well, guy shouldn't have hit her. Guy shouldn't have been financially abusive because I'm the one good man.
There you go.
Good Lord. Anyway, you can't make that shit up. Tom, can we talk about something less depressing? I mean,
let's go from depressing to bizarro.
I like Bizarro.
You like Bizarro?
Yes, I do.
You're going to love this story.
Feminist Bizarro.
It is Feminist Bizarro, and hold on to your hats, guys. Let me read you the headline, and it's long, but hang in there. Vegan activists separate chickens from cockerels on Spanish farm so the hens aren't raped because they do not give consent in video released by anti-speciest trans-feminist group.
Anti-speciest trans-feminist?
Yes.
Man, that's almost as bizarre as what they're doing.
The anti-speciesists, I think, is a group that says that we shouldn't treat animals differently based on who they are. In fact, they don't like that humans treat dogs so well and other people or other animals not so well. So, yeah, I love dogs. Barney, don't worry, bud. You're in.
Don't worry, Barney.
but that's the least of the worries of this group.
But Tom, we've got to do something about these raped chickens.
These chickens are raped in the barnyard every day. Probably millions of them are raped. But wait, Paul. Wait just a second. There is no rape. Do you know why there's no rape of chickens, Paul? Because a rooster doesn't have a penis.
Oh my goodness.
Roosters don't have penises.
No pee-pee, no rape.
Oh God. Cloaca, I think is what it's called, which both male and female chicken have this thing called a cloaca, which is like it's actually their butt and also a genital piece. But for the male, the rooster, his cloaca is connected to his testes. So when he mounts the chicken, the hen, he sprays out the sperm through his cloaca, and she also has a cloaca in her near her butt, and it inverts. It comes out like that and accepts his sperm and then pulls back in like that, and then they go off and do what they want to do. So tell me something, Paul. Can there be any chicken sex without her moving out her cloaca?
Well,
she's choosing. She's giving consent.
But wait a minute, Tom. It's very speciesist. What's that fucking word? Jesus Christ.
Who cares?
You're being a speciesist.
Yes.
By differentiating the true physiological differences between chickens and human beings. If you were woke, you would be saying that cocks have a cock.
You bet they do.
And chickens have a chicken.
Actually, there is a part of the cloaca in the rooster that's called the papilla, I think, something like that, which is this tiny little thing which they say is like his penis, but it doesn't get inserted in anything, Paul. Nothing.
Man, I got to tell you, this is a lot more about chickens' genitalia than I ever wanted to know.
And you know what? We're going to link, just for you guys, we're going to link, show you a link in the low bar of a webpage that shows you everything you want to know about chicken sex. It exposes both male and female chicken cloacas and the whole 9 yards. You see the whole thing right there. Fascinating. But anyway,
in case you needed to know that the copulating of chickens wasn't rape.
You couldn't even make the shit up about the cloaca, Paul.
No.
This is impossible. But this group is nuts. They're absolutely nuts. They're particular. These, they're thinking these hens are need protection. This is just a natural thing that they do all the time. It's a natural part of being a chicken.
There's two things to this that need to be pointed out. One was already pointed out by Steve Brule. He did a treatment on this story himself. And
really? On this story?
Yes, on this story. And he pointed out, I haven't read it, but somebody else told me about it. Steve apparently pointed out that what's happening between rooster cocks and hens is the way things happen between chickens.
Of course.
So if you respect animal rights, what are you doing intervening in what they do? How arrogant is that you're going to step in and you're going to anthropomorphize chickens? You're going to give them human characteristics and human identities and intervene as though something. I mean, this is the work of crazy people, really crazy people.
Oh, it gets crazier.
Oh, I know it does.
It gets crazier because, Paul, let me give you a quote of what they said. Either you are vegan or you help to finance animal slavery. Eating animals is fascist, they added.
Well, somebody's going to have to call me Mussolini.
Well, here's the other thing. That house cat they have, it's a fascist. That's a carnivore.
Oh, it's a fascist cat. That's right.
That's right. And all those honey badgers out there, those are all fascists. We'll have to tell Karen. Karen, you and Allison are fascists.
You're fascists. And how dare those women appropriate honey badger culture anyway? Like, who do they think they are?
Oh, God. So these people went on a TV show in England, I think, and everyone pilloried them. I mean, they just tore them up. They said, what was it? The footage prompted comments on social media such as, is this a joke? There's no room for more morons, and you have to be friggin' crazy. And at least there's some sanity left in the world, eh?
Well, I guess there is some sanity left in the world, but there was a second point I wanted to make about that, and it sort of applies to why we see this happening. And this is something I read from one of my Facebook friends who I did a write-up on this myself and linked them to the article in advance of doing this discussion. But here's the thing. Feminists seem to be starving for attention. That part of what may be driving this is the only kind of attention feminists really get anymore is the negative stuff from coming out with like outrageously stupid things like enthusiastic consent and the whole idea of like even you can tie some feminists to this Betsy Ross flag thing too. That this extremism is the only thing that really gets society focused on them.
Like chickens are raped.
Yes, like chickens are raped. And to come out with a straight face, and I hope Tom put the picture up of the two women on this because I want to do my best Austin Powers. That's a man, baby. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back onto the topic, I really think that feminists have learned the only way that anybody pays attention to feminists anymore, because they become such a joke in the world, is when they say something completely and utterly stupid, which is admittedly pretty much only any time they open their mouths. But in this case, it's particularly egregiously stupid.
Yes.
And I think it was done by fatherless women seeking any kind of attention. Was the old saying Bradshaw used to say, bad breath is better than no breath.
Yeah.
And this is what draws people in. I think it's a pathetic ploy for attention.
Yes.
Rape, chickens, my ass.
Don't add that.
No, well, no. All right, no prison jokes.
Let's keep on the topic of rape. What do you say, Paul?
Sure.
But we're going to go from chickens to cows.
That's sort of a step up.
Step up. To mammals, at least. Okay. Dairy cows are raped to produce milk, says PETA. Dairy cows are raped. You know what they're talking about, Paul? Well, first off, they're talking about the bulls, having sex with the cows, but that rarely happens so much anymore because what they're talking about is artificial insemination. Artificial insemination is rape. Well, I knew someone who was in training as a vet, and she and I used to talk about things, and she came back one day and said, I artificially inseminated a cow. I said, you are kidding me. And so the conversation ensued, and she told me all about it. This was a little teeny 5'2" woman, right? She told me all about what happened, how it worked out. It was fascinating. She had to hold the sperm in her hand and insert her hand through the cow's vagina and all the way back until she could find the promised land, right? I said, well, how deep did your arm go? She said, I had to put my shoulder into the cow's vagina. And I said, well, what the hell did the cow do? She said, the cow didn't budge. They could barely feel it. And that's what you learn when you read about this artificial insemination. The farmers all tell you, the cows don't mind this. They could care less. The feminists talk about these, what do they call them? Rape bars or something where they hold the cows in so they're artificially inseminated there so they can be raped. It's like, no, that's crazy. When you talk to people who do this, you learn this is a really gentle kind of procedure. It's not something it's a little messy for the person who's doing it, you can imagine, but it's not that big a deal.
What was the logic they used, though, about milking? There's something about milking in there, too, wasn't there?
I didn't see any milking in this particular article, but I saw a couple of articles before where they talked about sexual assault is squeezing the nipples. When you squeeze the nipples, this is sexual assault of cows. Well, that's actually a little closer than the raped from the insemination piece, but both of them still are just crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, look at all this nut stuff.
Do you know how long a bull's penis is?
I've seen a couple of them. They were pretty fucking long.
2 to 3 feet. That long. And that's part of the reason why they artificially inseminate, because the bulls can get up to a ton or more. There's this one bull, I think the biggest bull in the world now is 3,500 pounds. If he mounts something with 3,500 pounds, you're in trouble.
He can break bones, yeah.
He can break bones. So,
Let's point out something else too that's just painfully. Let's just back up for a minute to the painfully obvious. Look, folks, when it comes to cows, they end up in saran wrapped pieces in the supermarket, and we take them home and cook those little pieces of the cow one at a time. Do you think I really give a fuck about the idea of them being raped for milk, or that being a sexual assault, or raped for artificial insemination? We kill them and eat them by the millions all the time. Leave it to PETA to say, well, you can kill them, but you can't
kill them, Paul. Dairy farms are kind to these animals. I've got buddies who own dairy farms, and I've been out and visited and gotten tours and been around and whatever. They treat those cows really well. They love those cows. They know them by name. It's like, this is not something where there's the Auschwitz. This is, these people are doing a job.
Yeah, and I've seen that there's, they used to do, I don't even know if they still do it, some TV show about people who live in the rough in Alaska, making their own way. Yeah. And one of the guys, the way he got his meat was that he raised cows, and he had to butcher one every once in a while to keep the family supplied of meat. Yes. And you can tell it was an emotional event for him. He didn't like doing it, but it's part of the cycle of life and death.
Yes.
In the real world, not exactly. The world that feminists live in.
Exactly.
But in the real world, everything on this planet eats something else to survive.
Yes.
And gets eaten by something else. Everything. How they're going to
we've got to honor the carnivores as much as we honor the herbivores,
Sure.
They're just doing what comes natural to them, as are humans.
Talk about being speciesist. It's like they really think that becoming vegans elevates them morally above the rest of the world.
Seems like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, the contempt that they have is, do you know how those poor animals are treated? Yeah, I eat them all the time. I believe there's room for all of God's creatures right next to the mashed potatoes.
Oh.
I have absolutely zero guilt about this. When I die, something in the earth will eventually eat me. Yeah. This is the way of the world, folks. And we can not like it all we want to. But the fact is, it's eat or die. It's kill or die for every organism on the planet.
That may be an article for our next You Can't Make This Shit Up. A feminist in Sweden talking about the need for cannibalism of humans.
Oh, yeah.
You can't.
They're not talking about everybody being vegan. You can't eat a cow, but you can eat your fucking neighbor.
Oh man. God, exactly.
Let's do it.
You can't eat a cow, but you can eat your neighbor. You do have a way with words, Mr. Elam.
Oh man, well these people they're a never-ending fountain of material.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Are we finished?
We are.
I think we are. Another episode.
Anything that qualified for the title, You Can't Make This Shit Up, it's those 4 stories.
Yes, and thank you all out there for sending some of these stories in. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Those who don't want to be named, thank you very much. Fair enough.
We promise we won't eat you.
Are we finished?
Yes, I think we're done.
Good. All right. You can't make it up, Paul. We'll see you.
Next time, remember, men
are
good.
Good. We'll see you then.
All right. Bye-bye.
Turn the fucking thing off, Gold.
Turn the fucking thing off, Golden.